conservative bench, they have a Republican thinking, and then change, and then of course the current president of the United States, a Democrat, thinks more liberal, is very liberal minded, and then of course he says that the conservative views are really an obstacle to Bankola Nyatota. Well, in the Gambia, it's not an issue of whether it's a liberal minded judge or a conservative minded judge. It's woman at all. And Namel Long, as a lawyer, ni judgment kata, I don't have really I don't agree with it. I'm not in the case. I can write an article on it. Okay. I can write an article on it, critique it, show where, in my view, the judges have gone wrong, or if I'm in the case, I go on appeal. I had criticized the Supreme Court here that they sacrificed justice on the altar of technicality.
This is the election, yes.
Yes, because it's a court that promotes justice. This Supreme Court is a court. The Supreme Court, in fact, the judges in the Gambia, they promote justice. Technical justice, no, they are getting away from that. They are ignoring technical justice and doing substantial justice. But then, if you do, of course, we criticize you. We do criticize you. I'm not. I don't have soft spot for the. I don't have soft spot for judges. I do not.
Yeah,
and then of course I'll tell you this. Maybe I understand the operation of the system because I grew in it. Ning mo konyoko well. If I learn to a new judgment kele. Mamira George Carey, maybe woman song, maybe name of ha as a kenode, but no keta, mayat naman safanaya. I have got tell you to tell about Hanitamans or Antokanyata Kalaten. As a kid, Hanabe Kalakavo can while you be jet, Hanata minority, or Wasatara, if an ye tafo, Kavo Contelan Miro to Kito and Yanto Kuntlatene. Bari nalbeko ha itafo na lakavo ko kardamanela kitio munyente albele la kitio mu itafo na kardamanetamo. So wasifalo I try to point out, and of course maybe some people have come soft on the judiciary. I remember some time ago, Dole statement Sifa Doke, against the passing of the Chief Justice. Yeah. And I came out, I said that was wrong.
Yeah, you were.
I said that was wrong. Because for me, he's one of the Africa's erudite judges, held in very high esteem, internationally. And people more will understand. I don't think you should really take things personal after all. Nigeria. Have they not finished with petition cases there? Yeah. But I have not had anybody attacking any of the judges personally. Yeah. So that, because if I'm president of the country, that institution, judiciary, I will respect it, and I would want people to respect it. But I cannot be in the opposition and Kavo Kombe judiciary ba maybe a cook memang men mandiante lafta Kenya mamanka uta kenang FSFS, just as the IEC, just as the police, in fact any institution in this country. Nimmema kanyama, I'll say it, but then just because I'm in the opposition. Well, these are institutions mele along Kavako sama ninga pala so nyinta sama na ka Bible ni telebedo ko kala. So at kala haklimayati bi Kavako ba ni manta do ko la ne fenke don ka kebe pentrino pentru jawla man correct me ma ke kunde certainly wodem bo fo
now coming back to the again to the European tour before nga move back to the home front ngajelo ko still the European chapter of Fanambela Congress kala shortly I think in Swiss, right? And then wo Fanambe kala and the Congress will be follow. Mira, what is the strength of what role does the diaspora, especially the UDP diaspora, play in strengthening alla patiolo nya bi bankoka diaspora role mumunati niya jube muna na kumaya ta nyin congress will be alkataji alnibe bulobe nyokono. What is their role? What role do they play kaje ko patio nyin na sembentu ya bankoka ngai bamba?
Well, diaspora kama kwe sila jamal killing policy matters nga mol sotle in the diaspora na lankav ko lonna lomoiti in various fields adu ita banko tamandi nola anyama membe mol wasala na man good policies nol soto so ila contributions to our policy documents nol omo kukuma balete fulanjang eka makwe funding to because all this fundraising like I said 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏 duntajanto each and every one of them paid something and that was huge crowd so that they put it together imkadina in fact imagine pulngana ati abebuli je
kon kana fele sila fandole ngabira jini jawawa natal
abebuli je but then kamuta jeto so that nearer the elections would have a pool of funds na kama sina de pasol keno jeto sabanya fane kamenke walam ka recruitment ka molu mudarea foke na no ke dundi na kafokono animal fana be kafokono ke mudarea pour ye sabati patoni kono so I call be so I call be kala ela outreach man dang diaspora damana wala outreach kana even Gambia janto so akuma tabake ibe jeto nyawnya pada politiko nyinton iba balundi kane just as melbe Gambia janto ibe politiko nyi balundi kane.
Now coming back to the home front, recently ngajeko critics minialonko the critics of this government ngaje series of arrests people like human rights activist Madi Jobate, comedian Alaji Bora. As a veteran lawyer and somebody who fought for Mola Nyanto all your life, and then even before you get into politics, and even in politics, this is something you dealt with for the past 22 years. What is your take momunity when it comes to free speech right now in the Gambia?
Well, nganya man kavko ela karfe uduna mo be dalene amen so manguru konte be nyame no kabato du mo be da mo de diamola no fen kala be duku da be ne he left a call to muzzle the people and to muzzle the press. He left a call and really from the political point of view, I mean na democratic gains nyol nga kasarale Kasara squandered it.
How?
Katuko na mensoto nu mbuati nyakane. Ola nankom na kasarale.
Okay.
And from the legal point of view, from the constitutional point of view, you cannot have a greater, affront to constitutionalism and rule of law than this type of behavior. And you nimole luatinya deal with them according to law afanyano. But it luatala ya misuse against people. Ko ngafanyame in one of my press phone call Karl Marx for law is an instrument in the hands of the oppressor against the oppressed.
Yeah.
Kaluata, kamol tilimbaliala. Yeah. Camera kavuko is legal. Honey, but bumole tilimbaliakala. Yamo arrest, ya samba. And it's been abused. Kaduko, the Kamen Fenke, Jumalung. Yamo ta Jumalung. So you can let the clock go round.
Yeah.
72 hours. After that 72 hours, Yabula, it a femfalaya. Faninsula tell a big killer.
They cannot report.
Well, I cannot report. But no, Nibe more bill. You can't bill cover Koyineke. You can't go Yineke, well, and be bill dealer. But Niman cookie. When I be moon bill dealer.
And that brings to question the IGP. Come here for Yami Lua Alone. And there's a lot of lawyers in the police department. And I think a lot of Gambians, including myself, had made it in a point of duty to know now the law. Putting on the right so long. Ngaloneko, 72 hours might exclude Friday and Saturday and Sunday. It's counted, right? Unless natra nung court being inventa weekend of ita mari sa manual court. But no because mbeba karankan at this point mo bebe mirakang pur niye sambaji something like that. But also katandi ko fanangko niye mo muta 72 hours ilafta kabula is either inyanta charge lale for a crime, then abe bail based on that le or yabula unconditionally. But ngaminje walam ya foiko ID card fulanati or ila passport to jang or nyin to jang, and then you come and every 2 days, every day in a report, but there's still not a charge against you, and nika continue to work for months. Then after I die down, what as a lawyer, what is your take on that? Is that the way to do things, or is that an abuse of processes or the law of or human moral basic rights?
Well, that is certainly it's an abuse of the process.
Yeah. In
fact, here IG4, I watched a program on QTV. I don't know whether it was State of the Nation. One of those programs. You know, IG was the guest, and that day when the program ended, you know. Before he became Aja, grade of admiration.
Yeah.
But Wolum, I increased the back because he indicated Kafokon, they have a human rights unit
at the police.
So that complaints against police officers who violate people's rights can go there and lodge complaints against the particular officers. And then they would take the appropriate measures. But then Nana J. IG Nying is presiding over this type of system. Moral rights baliala. So I tell you, human rights from Komeya is established in your institution. And I found a I'm found a false. But Namira Kafako, Gambian Continental Wakil Menna. Ole nyina Kafako, welcome you Kafako, money Masabuka Kele, money Masabuka Kitty. Ya nyina wala. Nia Kela, Asamako, Kaduko, if you neata on a Friday. Yaku menke, yaku menfo. Loku fula koma. Yabatu just Friday in Ekama. That is ill motivated. Or in mantra crime fight come. Well, after the Kemari Batande. So in time Mari Nyantale, Emasakuna Yesu. And of course, you know, near Frankafana, Yesu, officer Meyake, Yafanansu. And your judgment soto against, because if Africa by Carousel so against that officer, don't go to the treasury. Cannot a treasury put treasury kodonjo. At officer Bulanoma.
So don't just stop at suing the office of the IGP and the government, but also the officer that arrested.
The officer may not have called him. Yes, do it. Oh yes.
Was that not officer not acting under the office of the IGP?
If acting, IGP not legit.
Okay.
But to show IGP is liable, you have to show the wrongdoing of this police officer
as well.
So then I'll go after them, so that there is regular. But not your cookie, compensation of you have to go to Treasury.
Yeah, Banco Belakodo.
Banco Belakodo. Ite tinyaro menke. Banco be na kao kodo ta kojo. No. So for me, I'll go after that, even though I'll still have the Inspector General of Police, but no judgment I will not ask government to pay. I'll ask you, the officer, to pay, so that it will be a lesson for them. Moya for yoko anyinke, it has said that it's an order coming from above, and you know that immoral and illegal orders you shouldn't obey them. After all, but
the never again slogan, people started bringing Kafuko never again. But Mojamako, never again is it going to be a reality, because 72 hours before Madin and Borala arrest, the president had said that Memol arrest for example, in a conversation Nimia hani nata court lay bail, Mberi arrest lale. And then ngaji Borala situation, obviously he was on bail by the police, arrest. And Madi also made some statements and then was arrested. And still no crime was even Ǩavriebule la nyimfe gole man crime for a minke come ye charge me na by ye question la drongalo ye question me na but he may charge. So near osi falje, do you think police olu ye fombula kula mome blamina because obviously the office of the president is so high, nim president o femfo intebam fongo jilal ko ngafo ko president o nyimfo batum fana act for him to see me doing something. Do you think is for you motivated? Because that's what a lot of people say. Maybe I would you motivated by the president or Amantili Bora arrest Madi arrest. Are you concerned about that trend? Because knowledge and kunung being new sifanata, being a modo they have succeeded. More basically at time more because nobody wants to go to police station. I don't want to leave my comfort of my home.
I certainly appreciate. I mean, I don't think you should be subjected to that, and I don't think you will be subjected to that. But remember, you see, court bail and the follow, let them be the police bail.
Okay.
And the police bail, near dealer, na be revoked. Il a bail conditions nyolo. New violate, then really they have no right to bail ni by revoke. Because the bail is granted to you on conditions, and you fulfill those conditions. Email bail conditions you will violate. When you are arrest, that will again be an improper exercise of discretion. Wale ananko mwali ntaparela sign. Kama kuna kesi court. So that you can put a stop to this. In the barrel, the docol in found Talake and but if only Lual men landi, Banco Kang, or Lual ni Bebula will the normal, Yaitan la Kavka Kamenke, a monkey silot. Adun, that is son nala. God bill, well, it's unfortunate. Kavako President Yokumofo, got follow in Banco. At a lomu moti, me yalan kafoko, a nyanta lola kaja ko luwai bunya bankoka. Na constitutional men provide walonko all agencies of government. Nyantale ka kitu lali ke makwe ya orders nyol melke pour kaja ko atamata anja tamala nyame.
Yeah.
President la fana nyanta kalo ko nyaton koti. But ni lota is very unfortunate. But adobato be and Mr. Talapur Kokumofo, adobato. And the way I was see Hakloto. Because nyileka kafun nyoma domandin fo ya yitandi kala alhalo be yitandi molla taman serol lomo taman sero melan kafka manka taman ser betete banko ya adi manka taman ser betete fanayge president fangaya katam taman sero man mulo kafo ko mampare kalwa bunya kote order di ite kafo police wala ko altalia fangale ko to in fact nin policeman na ta fanya muta wajo ni mu magistrate wajo nye ite police officer me okay be sambala for contempt ngeta nge 5 mile 2
but this
oh yes ngeta nge 5 mile 2 adumbe long date le dile
but this is my thing kodi nin magistrate ko I police officer charge contempt of court la IGP or the police le nyanto effect la ni ma effect do
I'll continue issuing orders for their somebody within the rank.
Because that's why I keep asking this question.
Somebody within the rank will comply with the court order.
I keep asking this question on my show and on my Facebook page. I keep asking, who is policing the police? I keep asking this, and I still don't get answers to this. For example, I remember there was this particular case, Lamin Kamara clients from this and if you know Lamin Kamara, Momi Alongo from social media, right? This guy literally wrote on Facebook, he was threatened by an institution because he was trying to defend his clients. Clients solo grant bail twice at the Bunju Magistrate Court, yes, I'm in detention. Itata Kanifing Court, he ordered the bail. He after ke arrest no, and then when people start writing about it, after he keep also in detention for them to go and seek for another FEMCO in the High Court. Even though he left to file like okay, but court him for on sign ibula wanyanta kerakodi. He said that I interviewed him. He said it openly. This is an institution under the arm of government. Government institution of court order violate at this point. And I told this to somebody, I don't want anybody dragging me to court because Natra institutional court order violate. And then, Minuka or Fenkol Kare, they are government institutions like the police or the PIU, it can detain Walla custody. You charge those people contempt of court. No,
but coming for like court order mendi and police women arrest the effect. Name Mr. Kamarati.
Yeah.
Police women identify that, and I filed contempt proceedings against him. And let us now see judiciary and executive which one is here to protect the rule of law. Oh yes, I would have done that. I saw Kabingo read, Mr. Kamaralo read on the bar page.
Yeah.
But why? Haninte, Julia James era. Yeah, well, no more defend Jamel Kafka Mandia.
Yeah.
But man threatened it. Man threatened. Maybe what they are just doing their side phone call, to keep clients away from me.
Yeah.
Very man threatened. And let me just say, really, Namira Bar Association, the executive of the Bar Association, man of fair care, but they should really have met on this issue and take a very strong stand on it. Man of fair meet but and make strong representation to the Attorney General. He is the leader of the bar. Judiciary independence goes with the independence of the legal profession. Lawyers must be fearless. Imanya sila lokula. Kafoko ibela cases in the exclusion of their duties. Inyanda sila men in the exclusion of their duties is yokuka meni luwa mankata commit crime. That is unpardonable because if even you the JLC should really take issues with you and discipline you. After that, the bar executives really take steps about that. But again, maybe what I would say as a senior member of the bar, a senior politician, a senior citizen, is that let us all be on the side of the law. Na palas wakana kendi me kumal fola o me kulkala menni luwabu nyanta ya muliyata. I think that is the advice I want to give everybody, including myself. Yeah.
And a lot of people say one thing about you is, sometimes that's your always your first point of call. Why do you think that is important? Anything sometimes when people think at this point it's just too much, we should do otherwise, you always insist on alnga lua norma. Why is it important for banko kalua sabatin, even if it doesn't favor you? Neither a court ye otherwise and other things, but you keep saying lua even though we disagree with it, but in our norma. Why is that important in any society? As a senior lawyer, why is that important?
Because aka Cairo nintenkwa kwele sabatindi. Yeah. And of course, an unstable country does not attract investors. Yeah. For instance, I think was it last week? I think the first batch of tourists came in.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if there was turbulence in this country, government never tourists one day will go back. And then we'll suffer. We'll suffer. Because peace, I think, is the key to the progress of any country. Well, we have it in our motto: justice, peace, and progress. Is the key.
Is the key.
Is the key. So, but then, really, ning landa tamboketa, wato dolo. Ning landa tamboketa, well, imari kaf ko biwa kai, balu bija saya bija to mbenkundu nakota de. By mansona luatala. I'm going to tell you what I Wala kata in April 2016. Yeah, wala kata in April 2016. But we just sabi jo kai. Malbe dunna konle. Atata ke dole kairoti. Khani dol melalon kafako. Iko. Del nyantan siyo dang bekela kasotole. Iba kairo kono bi.
Yeah. So, talking about that, before I'll come to arrest before I come to Antinoe. Ngajiko, ila pati still. I keep saying that. I don't know if I should say this sometimes. UDP, but I think what is factual is this: UDP is the only party. Jamaa mi alonko ila mo Jamal arresta. 22 years kelo kono UDP ron parti to mi alonko 22 years kelo kono nyaje ko ila molo soronta ila mol fata ini mansakunda katunyola wati nyaje ko ni wato kono nga arresto dolje la campaign manager Mamadou Sabal in December was arrested again a few weeks ago he was arrested and 𝒕𝒉𝒊𝒏 Sonko was arrested. A press conference and you were really tough. You were really tough. You were upset. Comforter. Why ila demeanor like that at this point? Why? Because Al Delta arrest Al Delta la more fata Al Delta. But why do you think this time, you were really more upset than ever? You have always been upset, but about issues. But I think this time I saw a different tone. Why? What's up?
It is because kombenga kilo ke kamembondi janto. Kabiringo bondi jeto. Menat na trajeto. Alafta tambila membi janto na kunu. Welcome. That is what is upsetting. Ni ajamela jamano lo. I don't care. But mole kilo ke mol ni otuta melo ko. Mol mele alon kafako ye ko bele fankaite. For ye tel ke mansati. Yo ye take mansati. Adu albe kula tonu. Albe kon menya man traba. Amanga kafko UDP dam mane ya fodo. ibe kafo men ko no but parti ko tan mel fana be banko ka ani moko tanglo
yeah
mel yalon kafo ko e mo nyim banko e terleti ani NGOs nyolo be da ko ta kafo ko men nyanta kala na tan sikilim bi janto ngol appreciate baka ila programo on GRTS Bukambis I don't hear a word but nobody hear from Bunya
Manjak program
yes I like it.
It's been there for like
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Manjago,
yes I like it.
It's a good program.
It's a good program.
Yeah.
Wo faninde gambeje wani me gambeje a program mbuka so I phone call I always want to say mbuka mo come for.
Yeah.
But I know kafuko ibe culture ila sio iba protect iba promote kane adi be make so kan fa kafuko ila wulu fangal be ibe yalla kan ma don wala nyanta. Yeah. But ni mol fankra janto ye placas nyol bondi inate lota commanding society na dabo support above la tribal fankolo but mo leta sarakule fanko sarakule society na kar support mo manka tribalism today na fikiale bijeto min karadola amanka is not any tribalist but min karadola is tribalism na fikia dama na bijeto and ngamira we will live with that for a long time. It started only Jammeh's time. And of course, the EUD tribal party, Adama Barrow knows that. Dembo knows that. All of them, they all know that. Melnate kaftema jeto. Melana ka APRC agenda kawafinu. And then they use the tribal funko, and then accentuating this. Very bekorlele. Certainly bekorlele. My father, I'm left a kasaya kan kotenke. Kona mandin kadiya. Nka waswala de. Adem be kontinla waswala. Wado over. Ngama ko manga mandin kading damande. Bari ajula kundang kolo mundi. Ajula kundang kolo mundi. Yeah.
Critics call UDP is not with all the brains in the party. Mojama believes the party is not utilizing the vast resource of technocrats, particularly. Recently, and I see a lot of people when we see the people like Lamin Manes, I love bringing Larry on my show all the time, the Uncle Larry and Lamin and others. You know, when you speak to them, the kind of Fenkol Yeminje, Ikaminister, why is the, more calibers J? Let's say, for example, when it comes to the National Assembly, right? We haven't seen policy-driven agendas, the UDP as a party formulating bills, Alonko, abe naiba natila National Assembly to Alonko really, this is drawn from the party's wealth of experience, technocrats and communities. I mean, to be honest, when it comes to technocrats, all these good people, when it comes to policy issues, especially at the National Assembly.
You are right. We had two killing was to draw up a legislative program. Okay. Kanyim memfo na mantel dol for bar mol okay, then another one finance retreat the National Assembly members only to look. In fact, first to look at the constitution, was rejected, and to look also at other issues. National Assembly members, ila long ka multi jele don kafoko, ikata deep table I or no. Kauka manko damante. But kukotang fana bijetole, mayalon kafoko inyanda kake. And under the leadership of minority leader Alaji, supported by all his colleagues, and then tapping on the experience of the former majority leader, 𝒘𝒄𝒄𝒏 Barrow,
yes.
You'll see things coming out. Now, for instance, on the economic front, already na kanyim for na experts nyolo, they've started producing documents. In fact, we have produced series 1, and then I present to the Central Committee for adoption, because Malafika anything funded without really a Central Committee endorsement sort of. And it is building a new Gambia, dealing for uplifting the Gambia from the status of a low-income country, or a least developed country, to mid-income country, and then to high-income country. Or those 3 stages. And Yafanyamen na Molo, Mr. Mane, Mr. Sise, Amadou Sane, Modu Sabali, Lamikoma, Mr. Talnyolu, Mr. Fandino, they put their brains together and then did that. Surprisingly, Kunung came across one document, a yellow, we call it the Little Yellow Book. Kawanga Jenko, really, yes, UDP has always been blessed to have people, resourceful people, intelligent people, people committed. And it's on a 11-point program on various issues, from democracy and rule of law to environment, everything.
Wow.
It's small.
Is that going to be the program towards?
No. This was published.
This was published.
This was I mean, a few years ago. And guess who typed it? I did the editing, but guess who typed it?
Who typed it?
Solo Sunday.
Wow.
He did the typing. It was Solo Sunday, Ibumane, Dr. Boro Suso. So Dr. Boro Suso and Ibumane, they were the intellectual thrust. And then Fonkoni, Solo Sunday did the typing. And I edited it.
Wow.
Yes. So, very memorable. Very soon you will see things happening in the National Assembly, because we have already drawn up a legislative program.
Okay.
Part for part.
Finally, the question everybody wants to know: 2 years into 2026, I see the Fode Jaulas and others say we have only one candidate coming Senegal. Pastef, Dola candidate on coming for the long. We have only one candidate. We don't have plan A. We don't have plan B, C. It's Usman Sonko. Yeah, I see some of your people saying the same, and a lot of people say it's about time Usenu Dawo a boot soul hang and give someone else, because the same thing. Is it not time to hang the boots and say, you know what, we have all these people here. Maybe it's about time we have a new leadership and test the waters and see. But, you know, Ngela Moljeko, UDP without Usenu Dawo is no UDP. He's our candidate. Is that true?
Well, Italy for. Yalo momo kelala fina kuole for.
Mune telala fina kuole.
UDP atambi.
Mune telala. Are you going to run?
UDP atambi.
Are you going to run?
2026. The bad time la Jamal Berwana ba kumemo kuodi wolong do ko le kekan UDP atambi. Ninga fature tambi ndi sata do ko keta. Ninga ajiyam le tambi ni Amadou San le tambi ndi nga momoto sata do ko nyaketa.
What is Darboe thinking as a person individually? Is there any plans to say, you know what, I want to give this another try?
Darboe la bureau kakementi surtout nintele wala mbe UDP à la political fortunes ba augment la nyam bo la fund la nyam. It's nothing personal, and it shouldn't be anything personal.
It shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be anything personal. Yeah? Because if you go back to something personality, then you are forgetting, the transient nature of human beings, of man. You are forgetting that. And everything should be philosophical, especially until Dina Molo. Whether Christian or Muslim. Everything should be philosophical. We do all our efforts. For me, in the name of the party and for the party. And then, when it comes to 2026, the UDP call, na fature jay, pe fature tal. Wasatra kaf ko do ko ketale, then fature tambe. Ola nan ko, yame, I don't have to be in state house punga ke president. Kan nga fature tambe ni. Yame. Ate be do ko kala drong, punya be ben kala tan tel tal. Fana injam fade.
Jubale jamfa. Jubale jamfa. No, but are you worried that, is it true that you are worried the aftermath of you leaving to say Manta Lola, and then, because we know, there are so many capable people in the party. And the fact is, already there are camps in UDP. You cannot deny that. There are camps, when you believe that Nyundol ko ntolni talib lo, Nyundol ko ntolni lamin sane lo, Nyundol ko ntola fa amadu leta, Nyundol ko yankuba dawo lo. Camps will be la pati okonore. And at this point, some of it is even visible out there. We see it. Are you worried about that? New waketa drong about la pati ofara, and that's why you are still holding on like this and even traffic forward. Is that the reality?
That's not the reality. But UDP, we are bonded together by our values. So we are UDP trajectory. And it tell me because you be for ten. If they believe that UDP la values nyola, wale molo bond together. Let us admit it. KMC, Talib lebe KMC as the mayor, Rohil lebe Banjul as the mayor, Yankuba Darboe Jana as the chairman, as the chairman. So when it comes to issues in that place, but they don't see them. Kavoko. Imu they are contending. At least the major one they are contending for the flag bearership or for the leadership of the party.
2026
no, absolutely. But remember, since what Lamine Diba was alive, then Borosuso, we had a heated executive committee meeting. President Barrow Binyatolo had an heated executive committee meeting. And what I told him, look, if Wolung, President Barrow, I remember Koko, we are aging. Those were his exact words.
Oh, who's aging? Executive.
No, executive.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, in fact, now we have aged. Walung, Unamo, Yang Assigned Corps, let me talk to some individuals to contest even Hannah Bekala as an independent candidate with support of the UDP. And you have to understand one thing. Alaman Tankalama. Ninkurambala Tankambi. What are you going to Munabekela?
You said that to them?
Yeah, yes, I said that, and I still say so. Munabekela. Nimfata, Munabekela. So, the transient nature of man, more kakaklo kakara bola. Alasala what? Was I not taken to prison?
The party moved.
The party moved because of the values bound together. It's not the Kavako personalities from column, no. And those values, bind together. Every 1996, of course. Within an organization like this, I mean, you should expect people to say, "Kavu konti left a lawyer Darboe da Manila." Momol kafu jando kavu ko Gambia Jawaranta.
But won't PPP what it?
Well, okay, no.
I'm PPP what it?
I know.
I'm PPP what it? Gambia Jawaranta. I'm PPP Jawaranta. I'm PPP what it?
Because maybe values in your level for can tell the test that we went through. PPP didn't go through that test.
Okay.
Maybe tell na values in your level. Not tell men get values men and tell put together. Not have na miracle with PPP no or could it succeed lanu. Because nobody, more buffalo can the son and agent. The government, you overthrow. Especially like those early days, Oh, yes. Well, what I'm saying, in fact, is that,
So, Imam Miracle, so to Imam Miracle, you think or anybody, Natra Itemoron, anybody that party chooses, you think Amantala Patio Farala Flat?
No, it will not.
Okay.
It will not. It will not. Look, Melbourne not a palace in the UDP kono. Gagel Carino Palace of Society Tatali. Melon Cavoko in Natale UDP, because Usen foreign minister, Usen vice president, well, Mana UDP will not a government. So will be Tatali. So you can mail better for thing. They all had opportunities. Jump off the ship, but Bilamu, be bambandi back. Bambandi back. And Damamira Monyanta, in fact, Memfang Kanyanke, Meliano Kafketena Patioko no Fado.
Walleka Fale.
Walleka Yunkuma Fanka. Carry. Walleka Fanka. And in fact, the model, the African Kafka, I don't have close water wrong. I that in the particular quarter. I Kafako carry, not all my NPP la strong man bad. Okay, when I not love the UDPA, Kekutin Bangoka, I must say, a lawyer that Bubon, telephonic or doki jeto. But Nalo Yalo and the comedy, lawyer double letter related, one might at la Calebat. Maybe, very. The party is very strong.
And you believe the party will do that?
Yeah, the party, it will. The diaspora nyame, Kangbambe diaspora nyame, it's the same thing here. It's the same thing on the ground here. And the good thing about it is that all our local government leaders, in the party grassroots level, they have enormous respect for all of them. For all of them, they have enormous respect for all of them. And they admire them, and they are proud of if a serviceman can come. They are very proud of that. I am particularly proud of all of them. And I tell them, with small resources, little resources, surtout, nearly UDP, central government UDP, with millions al-Bajalale Nimbanko be transformed la nyame. That is number one series of our building a better Gambia, and we are working on the number 2 series. And then we are taking all this together with the 5-point agenda, and the manifesto, and give it to Gambian people. And I hope when Ninga dealer, it I come commanding you can come.
I hope we, as a nation, we should transcend beyond those kind of beliefs and look at the bigger picture as a country. I think this is your first time. We are sitting in Kabrabanta just few days before it European tour. I remember, because she's my aunt. I think around 6 a.m. my dad called to say, I could not even. It was sad because last April I called because normally every April in Kanati we talk about April 16. When I called her, she was like, Fatu Mankenda, she was not able to even do an interview. Probably Kumandi, how was that day, and how are you dealing with that up to now?
Well, it was devastating. Of course, mobe yalan ka ko saya Bible olomo. Ila modol bijeto ani sikura nyawonya. Kala fankala ay wuli na fata kuran si dikal nyawonya na fata aka femboy tole. No ga ngalo na kaf kaman kende yanu. Barala saya ay fembon tole. I don't I namiro si and fana and mamira kafoko nogoisi fa a manke banko bela samti nogai banko bela samno ngori adanya de kala banko bela samti nibe mol fola wala kata kol fola jarabol men lata kewalka nibe mol ka nibe fola ka fola ko ha kare war mo mem kewallete bar nogoy musolomu and I mean taki ala banko ye kewal meliano ka ko tatu to the same process e motake akata banko e tala balete bar fanan akata ntelie kawandolete akatanye hakli bulandote ka foko enim membe kuklin kuno bi ila alhalo abe keja rimban abe nyanya rimban o manyana kere ni no mare wala yalan fonko nyin kavoko high blood diabetes well mom also ability Gambia janto but then certain treatment physical treatments no na keta mona alanjuro katre mari balo konle for the rest of your life ado isula menna amanke nyinde kafoko moyna ay sokodola isula menna topotoro nyaadi la jaroro karola isula ta walla kabrin sukay banta afan konkombe attorney general petale kata kamit kadia mai nin victims la kuola and a particular reference with Nogoy and in Fatu Kamara. Yeah. Alay Nogo fana min joda but meltu tajeto beta iji yale. Yeah. Fatu more careful but memu tonyatin. Mele alon kavoko wala kendi from beat low. Abe boring amantra boring ni kakono melo sabo mo manyana nyela wala hanna tara kafoko bi almanden kafukilingla de fatmata jawra wato wadna man den kafukilingla bar wato wad nimbe nyin April 16 ko April 14 ko nka mentionne kaduko history ko men kata nimmen koy bo nakarla e manke mo sobeti manke mo tilninte barna gambian ko le bambanta menno wala kam mol nakari mole nogo ya nakarle janto nogo nyanta topotoro men son la gambia man sakunda bulu adama baro la man sakunda bulu ama soto jeto because am UDP quality Melialon Kafoko, one of the architect, no goila mantorolo, Melora Kokang, Melialon Kafoko, Yako ya celebrate, be Walebe Tinsankang. Almabarola ni Masakunda kono. One watu the war, Wale Kansunu. Abukandi me nebara Kansunu le. Because Mari Kismari Simira Kunu. Ene unyolo ni tambeta nyame. Bari ngame safo kakanga fanyama nyemu dine bankolte safo ala kitita nyela. Na. Ba ko ngam mem fo no goyla sallum bala dimba yalo adinglo ala to wol ka bayol ala to wol ka bayo te nyim banko kam what a possible to wol ka bayo te nyim banko kam but anyway
almani wani ka farke amen. What is your final message to the Gambians program Banta?
Well, nakumonye ngada ni damen wala kana final message to the Gambians. Kavukan kananya na kununa. Be bikono. Betar ni nyame kunu. Ngamira wala. Kama mwaldol kavoko, we cannot continue to live in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But we
certainly have to move on.
Yeah, we have to move. But then, if the past is living with us, we have to live in the past. Because the past is living with us. Wala na nyanta alngamira kununa. Ningoke. Betala silol mella. avec la silati lindinglete bitala be silol meltala avec la silolti men yalon ka fuka abe buñani horomo damane nat lambe so after that call for Gambia call
so thank you very much for talking to us. We appreciate it, inshallah. I'm the family jambaki tenti. Next time because you see lo family jambaki.
Bari ya ninna silo siare ken kori etavola ko keri
UDP.
No etavola ke UDP ko ker
usiru daw. At this point Delta wala silence Delta wala, but we really appreciate all the time because coming for the wall ker fatu mo be dlalti but more mini ko all the time ninge kumandi they're available to talk to us. We take advantage of that because at the end of the day this is a network and we would want to have guests every single day on our platform. So whoever is ready to come, we will certainly, and if that means having the same people every week, we will have it. Because I think at some point now we have gotten used to that name, UDP. I mean, we are called Kerfatu, but whoever calls us that also, we don't have a problem because we're just trying to do our job. But thank you so much for always gracing our platform, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much. And to the technical team, thank you very much. See you again. Bye-bye, and good night to you all. Bye-bye.
Residency Estate is a gated community located in Old Yundum, proudly developed by Swami India, perfect for all looking for a quiet life with luxury amenities within an enclosed setting. When talking about the benefits of living in a gated community, safety and security is top on the list. They allow extra privacy, take away the hustle of unwelcome solicitors, and create a safe haven for children to play in a trusted environment without traffic or speedy vehicles. A great sense of community develops through the meeting at a controlled communal leisure facilities, offering an integrated lifestyle. A green environment and well-managed communal areas are keys to higher home standards, elevated quality of life, and better property value, should you consider home reinvestment in the future. Added to all is the location, just next to the airport and reconstructed main road, yet tucked in the tranquility of nature. Our purpose is one, your satisfaction. Contact us. Let us help you build your dream home in the Gambia.
Beda kota kafo ko menyanta kela na tana teje kafo ko nyete ta ke kijeto pour menyanta kela banko ke yake yana na bowoto menka kenu yani te bijeto e ko ke wala diminna. That is what changes my demeanor, because it should not happen. It should not have happened. If it was German, it did. I said, but that is normal. But this one, no.
But this is the thing, you know, Barrow will say, "Film me along Kalia normalized but Jamila time and Alco Salta Sonala."
Kasua Manyadi.
Very Jamaica time it was normal, you know, be single Nyasinor Mutalajana.
Because then, you know, it was recognized, Kafoko, that was a dictatorship. And you have to fight it. Purka dankala. And in your fight a dankal, ya America dankala, membi jedo, Omanya na murla woto. Wamu na safaro me al Kafko tanya to sign como. You know? Bonafista woto. And really, I don't have Molly Afanya Kafoko, every Gambian, their rights are like a dog, okay, and that is true. Omtonality. Memmenko ebo fenkela. Woto, ila perception about, you know, Bankola Nyatota, Maga Killing. Very woman in the civil service, every Gambian. Respect of Barnak, you know, million on Kafoko. I mean, they were architects of the dictatorship in this country. Kana Palace Kumalta Kadi Walda, Madam Turewa, Odimina Watade. Hanimel Adama Fejeto, Iba Fejeto, in Nimis Walla Bijeto. Ada Mandi, young Bengalone, and Bangwan, you know. Yet a role sort of UDP Kodonya, Fanangate role sort of NPP Kodonyale. If I'm not a role sort of cabinet funk Kodonyale.
Cannot in a door by but
Niman Harjobanta Jabia by
Niman
Harjobanta Jabia but that is the truth. That is the truth.
Yeah.
You know, you know, I said it. You know, Nadinding, Ibrahim Adibanjan Modi Sapal, because really, Alcal Conte for me is a bad man. But Mamir Alcal Conte Yatatarla Toki. I'm Alcal Conte. I membeke. And Yatatala Adamala cabinet local. That's what I mean. Well, pay back time. And a monkey Kafka Mankarang. Amanka Kafka my experience. For me, he's a bad man. But poor Adama, I'm like Olomo. We see follow. You know, I see that, you know, really. Anyway. So,
but I seems. But then near Jube, for example, like you say, more Dolba Floko. Every Gambian has rights to work in any position. And I understand Iba from you as a member of a party, me alonko atole President Wimala party member to know anatole doko kale keloke for BC that. So I can understand your perspective. But more for coming for at this point, what relationship what for at this point, me alonko you depending Barola relationship I banko for the whole at ransom. At this point,
I see.
It does.
No,
it does. It does because I saw something because Ninga comments will put on Facebook all the time our issues. Anytime President or opportunity to speak to us as Gambians, it's about UDP, Usainu Darboe, or Aldamal issues. When we want to hear about Kurang Obejila no nyadil, we want to hear Mano Dabejila no nyadil, Mano Kudo Betala no nyadil, Bankola nyatota, economic situation will mean caring. That's when we want to hear the president speak to us. But whenever he speaks to us, it's about Atol Damala Temo. And at some point he says,
what idea my photo auto?
Is it possible that you guys can come and sit down and talk about all of this?
I don't tackle a father. Bukaka don't tackle her. Because, in the first place, let me tell you this first place, Kafko, Ngam from Kulia back at Nam more Monkulia, Ngam from Kulia, more Monhorma, Ngam from Horma. Cool Bijeto, honey, a funeral. Sakorako Kafo directly, no. Memu Bangola problem ote, so for. I do not recover a president la fanal in Safo. Like any bill from Coleman Frank. The president of Nanta Kofole. Got Bancola Tamandana along with him. But we send WT Pamaka Bancola Tamandana. So maybe more Nanta Diamla Telecafo. I damn co president. I'm a president. Ko usenda manke president baraka malako alpha.
According the eco democracy monso, the eco democracy betinyakane, but in democracy monso no kerfatu ibe diamuka no platform in tani member caring. It is total. Do you still believe na democracy will shake in at this situation, at this current state?
In fact, memo tonya te. Tell me roto. President Memphis Molon Kavoko mbe jila nyil kanne o hawks o bibo be jila kan wanyale bari ba mol nguntanta ayole moy ay mol nguntan molde adu ngamira femfe yalon Kavoko imu marala kendote mola jing ne mol kuma foto mol jing kan ro men mol ngunta men ke nyanta ya haklo to baake amene ita kala wasulangti kaw ko ni democracy janto kirfate tamana adu kadu ko kirfate fanga yi menke pour kaje ko democracy m kamemfo ay menke yalon ne fonatra de elafta ke fan filinde media menke include kerfatu munam bele ngalon so ana manke ko report ma yalon ka foko ayen sadalale ntelenga kele fonga soto dol fata dol tata kasola dol wudayta bar man an mel be wudayren ibake kanno so manke nyen ka ko yen swalale ntelenga doku ngadi fangla
me muru no la wo tola ba because yemin fotenka je mo Jamal, I see a lot of Gambian diaspora ka foko no, we worked for this democracy. Moment in democracy di Gambeno le fon ya doku bayri ka wuli dron kata carte fay knowing ko dictatorship min bijang dol ba fale ko camera le katara pulling buto bar hani wo be Gambeno ko no be carte fay la ten anin Gambeno mi be diaspora min beke fo biye soto mo jama ko no tonya president baro yes italo na president oti and you are the leader of this nation and you are going to strengthen this democracy. Barite manyin democracy dinna. Gambian obele akele. Now, are you concerned we might be sliding back with all this situation?
Well, we are gradually sliding back. We are gradually sliding back. Natara is a regulatory institution, you know. Si fenge kafo eko, alkar safe ol bakar nyol safe da yol safe fan ma han kuma kijeto nin molko mansakunda nyinti nyarol be ke kanjeto president be nyina ke kan police wala tayi arrest
Nin police all Kenya nga kafo eko president eko Mr. President, you'll bring trouble in this country. Muna ne ofo. Mr. President, Mr. Example is giving examples, taking examples from more ya commandi. Those kind of things, it makes me laugh when I hear that. That those were some of the questions you would ask somebody me invite.
Yes, but ni man fence what be mo ni kala menna. Ibanyin kala kuma kensang dam manela. Kome yalon kafuko really kesabato. Nama wala interrogation o wabuka me karuku keso le bebolo. Aman try ba kafuko da fishing. Yeah? Like 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏 kabranko TikTok asnol tata at moment. Ko be nyimbanko talale. You know? Then ngamera nata wo eko attempted phone so balik now that you know every day political parties no
ite phone ntengo phone ko
kan platform ka ko nyimbanko batala
no ntengo phone ko dawo ka nyimbanko tala ko be banko tala I mean I think
we said that but you know because maybe they are paranoid, you know. In that kata, anu mo sa balik ang pangkamandang udah makaman, marah for ko al beng fu dengan kartu fai. So ni member kudeta kalau bawa lalu kena kartu fai. I think it's also a sense of paranoia, and then melka yamari, and the ngamira will find her doing this service to him. 𝒘𝒃𝒃𝒃 president of this country, because everything, he's the most informed person. And I appreciate that. Ito kukela me yalon kafuko ngaja kwa nyinde na mansu kunda la tokendo lafta quality nya. Yama. Ndafule ko karbula de barmbe killa le nyenye ka kadu ay muneke. Una na yamuta. And me for directly ma bankada but me be do ko lam koto walbe killer ke nyini ka kare muneke kana man ke nyini ka ko ba kalama but maybe fanan nyindol fanal ka ma nyindol fanal ba ma ko rola pour ka to tija adobato ba certainly no arresifa ke ibamuna ko itafula ko vice president to mo la jeto de
the minister to mo
maybe is minister to mo jeto minister fintino maybe mari ka ko president Adama Barrow president la masukuna president Adama Barrow itala to ka fo jeto so to ku yanyi really tonya itala kata maybe dolka kele like I understand you from comment ke ngam video jele in the social media you more well handle in Joshua, you know.
Yes
Joshua I mean yamo aras kabang put him on cup what else do you need to do muna ne be butela and yamal wo kam kam fandi mazakunda kamale but president bara abuko long ayamena ka ba fasa kan wallahi batinya kan because I didn't look for it come compile to see whether there is compliance with the human rights protocols and with the constitution. Because you shouldn't, that is torture. And already have a law against torture in this country.
But when you near President most of the time, whenever he speaks, I can't compare with Jame. Jame sembo means for ngasotole. Most of the time is that comparison. Why do you think that mindset though? Because we kicked Jammeh out because we wanted you. We wanted you because we thought you were a more democratic person. You're going to respect the rule of law more. So everything else, you know, Gambia no la peso kang, because they wanted somebody different from what we have. But most of the time now, it's more of a comparison to Jammeh ninkele nung alman femfo. Jammeh kanyene kenung ndefana nyin symbol to Jammeh min sotono.
Ayamira fana ka be mol silandilele.
Oh, you think that's the
ngam rolo ka be mol silandilele.
Okay.
Okay, Jammeh kamen kenung fana sa kenung fana bakile. Ka mol silando damando. Dina. Bare ngamira sa indal silandiro ani mar ka be 2015. Fast njaga choye. Ka ko no more fair. Moy slow dun ni banko ka ay slow dun ay bulol wara karo bela April 2015 in fast njaga choy
Alim police all tema UDP e fast njaga choy fa hakiro blandi. You guys had a long rocky relationship with the police. You know, recently in a press conference to you were really also not very happy with the police, the way you know, you catalog series of incidents that happened time alonko in police team and recent arrest for the militant solar. Now, first I want to ask, I know after the 2021 elections, there were police officers many from video celebrating Tiagas or ala militant solar. The office of the IGP issued a statement, all police or police and they were punished, they suspend them and they were investigating. Did you hear anything first? Did you hear about that investigation? Do you know what the outcome of that investigation was?
And what investigation mal outcome long, mama fonya, and for me, that was just a false PR. That's all. And it has not happened. I would have expected new statements would come out and inform the public. Kavoko, the incident men kata nyindla karto, makoni nga investigate le, bari mo na stand jeto nga ina find jeto, you know. If you remember, after jalon ko fenke alkalimu adamala angel leti, alamala ko, although for me he's a bad man. For alkalimu member kavoko, imaja kabinti agaso fenke tadra. So those are the people. Mel bulo it lobe it Darboe ni police loko, especially IGP Sanyang. Didn't he hajite ako? IGP Sanyang. I confront kafa ako. Foi mu UDP leti ban foi te UDP.
Yes.
So he had to say that monkey UDP.
Do you think he's trying to prove that so much to the point
I'm not sure.
because he has been accused of being UDP in the past.
Yes.
Kabramun deputy IGP.
Yes.
But his tenure has not been really. You guys, would you say is the best of time for your party?
Certainly, it's not in the dispensation in which you are. It's not the relationship that would have expected. And I did tell them that look, an institution is a national institution. So we don't have anything personal against anybody. But then your style of administration, the style of handling issues, we do certainly have issues with those things. And we will be remiss in our duties to ourselves and to the country. Because Mol fana baflo on the side kafoko ha UDP la lal hakla no hanadra kafoko nyawe maindur barin kewo wala bijeto abe behave kind of way will come down hard on him. So it's not a question of relationships, it's a question of bankola tamanda kol menyanta kala bankol menyanta bankol, you know. In the even Jamila time we had some inspectors general of police had a good relationship with them. I remember Rex King. Rex King was one of those Inspector General of Police, Mayor Kafoko, number problem, so we had no problem with, you know. Alamane man Kafarkala, 𝒕𝒉𝒊𝒔 also was also a good IG. Benedict Mendy, yeah, Mr. I think yes, yeah, Mr. Mendy, yeah, was also a good for us. He was a good for us. He was a good IG. Yeah, yeah, but there were others. Maybe I don't have really. and I really think Mr. Sanyang can redeem himself not for UDP but for the country, so that in fact the public perception about him, not for UDP but the public perception is only UDP in Tankafu, but dual funnel Kafu privately. Yeah,
including me. I say it privately. Openly. I say it openly.
Yeah, so but in fact, you know, one of the reasons I until after the new constitution in Naba, IGP independence are your guarantee. Yeah. Ni constitution be on una abala ngajiki fana keta kafuko among faida soto de by faida soto na abala do ko kala nyam kadu ko he'll have been protected by the constitution. Yeah, and those are institutions melan kaf they really need protection because they should not be subjected to manipulations by politicians. That is why until after war I know. So that Nimu president, after police left a misuse, they say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it.
Sinyafula na kachako na yafo Nimu president. Sinyafula nkala mo yafo ninketa president. Meaning the notion to rerun might be there still. We'll come to that.
Okay.
Because you don't sinyafula
yalo sikeno president wedra a mantra siri state house.
Dolko banku kantalani mansa mankile.
Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying? Or are you talking about real presidency?
Anyway, new strategy.
2026, 2 years later. Muna UDP la preparatory measures going into 2026. Is UDP stronger today than it was 2 years ago?
UDP is stronger today. Bilomu kafonyi mbambanta. Bilomu na mol siyata. Bilomu na lonal siyata. Katambi watu bela. Bilam room fanan kafuko jikobe patiyo nyiya. Kato watu romo eka kuodo kakele. Imala be mewulula. Ni tata na santolto 2021 moja mae karto fai NPP na adenyola amange NPP na mayala kavuko ekavuko kon NPP le NPP tele nganyinge NPP ni mojo le danda ngamera fomo tani lulba. So wakava, so that the
grand coalition,
the grand coalition. But the Modu have come to me. Adi yellow ne kafoko will be NPP le. Adi kobe le kata NPP. Kambolo sai.
Mune osa kafpuru mune kata.
Kaduko ye memfoye. Nakuoto ay kafu ko wala man so do ko kafu dol ko fitna modom dol ko kabiru wodu I mean I think it was about 10 days into my injury. Yama jumatan datan lota nyum fondi kol nyato yama ka denklo leye ngoy ko al sai en ngang mulot no fondi ko dan ka ko te musute te bulu laftale no yata muso nyini yedi mbayal soto wala bakala mbiye nafade yada ngeri man kafka nimu December to this season nin ko keta nyamba ko da wol ko yes quand même faire ko to yar fant fan yalo kani mu finna motno wolung no ni ko gambe be mala la ba ni gambe malata ase buto ntelebe bid la ko do amu jumale nafala. So, and A lot of people, honestly, a lot of people have come to me. It's not true. And I know some had some hard views about UDP, but when they engage me person to person, and they find that no case to menkabong and anyabe kuyari yara fandum nyomo si fadum.
Yeah.
And they change after that, and those people, they become ambassadors.
You can even put into Tonyalo, because I know a majority of the Gambians have this perception about you, right? And I personally have spoken to people, and they say certain things. I'm like, is it the same person I always see an interview that you speak this way about? Or when they say some tribal comments, or even say, come fitina molom, fitina cool, drone, and all that stuff, especially during the 3 years journey. I remember a friend of mine said, Kida Fabuka fitna torop, mungi fitna, mungi ni dega down a na reumi. And I'm sitting, I'm like, is he talking about the same person that I interview or I speak to sometimes? And you see, that thing had stick to you. And broadly to the party also. And UDP, up to now, almo bondino completely from majority of the mindsets. Mol believe tawalla. Majority of the people believe tawalla ko. Number one, mol coming for UDP, I'm sorry to say, tribal issues have been attached to your party, and also kafukov nyurumu fitina molzi. And that 2021 really worked. I know some people have said, I don't think so, but still now a majority of the people still believe that. What is the party doing to remove that label? Because it's still there. People see people who are still worried about Allah leadership, especially you.
Well, yalo nimme man lafi mandi kola nyaton kayala. Definitely, wale fankala. But yalo, na tribe, masang. Isin sinna feng be falin no. Fanna mandin kaya. Na dia tanya. Insi nto falin. Nama insavoko ontomu John Sanya neti. Sake. Then nga phone call publish. Dunia biya lang kawo konte nunto mol kawo 10. Then to John song since to falin no. Alakana miro dun kunkono. Na di non safali none. Isi Gambia diya. Safali none nga ko manke Gambia citizen sai nga Sweden lela citizenship ta. Mo Swedish nationality. Wana mandin kadiya. Anin to falin nole. Do falin nole. So nimme inventala wala kan kawo ko mandin kading lom nyinti. Adala mandin kadiya falin nola. Ko alunjai te ala surwadi ya fali no la nyame wala pate so tala fuladi ya banana note something maybe gumane tala sarakule ya fali no la nyame yes nimme bentala wala ka bar mel ko fo yama mel ka ji tribal lands jibe imaga hakli mallati kan telema fenke wolon kafuko na look at our program. Is it a program? Is it a viable program or not a viable program? Bao bankonya tatamala wala. Adon ni bijeto atakana kafuko mandin ko damane bekala ministers nyolti. Si ko dal bekala ministers nyolti. Dina kote mol
I remember even when you were foreign affairs, Moli accused ko ila appointments were all non-Mandinkas. So that only shows ko,
But we are all Mandinka, but Mandinka.
You don't look at things of private tribal lenses, yeah.
No. Femi Peters mu quality.
Yeah.
Suleiman Bunjak mu surwalti. Amatal mu amatal tukulor surwa. Ebu mane Mandinka nyancho, Osurwa nyancho. Tony Blaine, no, not Tony Blaine, Achille Blaine.
Yeah.
Malatarol. Mandinka ambassador. Gamel Lonjeto, Kemis and Jame, Faisise. Of course, there was Hassan Alassane Jammeh wala Alassane Jammeh président fang la tombantro mo no wote de man kaf konta nga recommender président fang la wotanta so ngamandi ko fasa min tole bari yalo ni mal la fi e man kad ni ba man sa ko na nyinin e man ko ka jube monom alafta mun kala banko ala programme o menti e bu kala si yo jube ba nim man ko de ben si yo le jube la but definitely you know adum ngamira nin kom bokala na agenda ti you know kaf ko level ni ngambonde you know no wato man nyanta nyatli na men mbo le abandon ka nyanta nyatli na men wala kamol kondis ka fa ko inom kudi mel sal nafa kan be mun fa ka ko mun na de manque tribalisme be mun fa le ngamun tribal agenda le soto ngamuna kama yalon ka fa ko mandin kolten ku kilin dan ka wasu wala de na mandin kadiya ala yalon ka wasu wala le adum be wasu wala do ngamira momo imusiyo menti inyantele waswasiyo la sikilim bijanto ngol appreciate baka